Gonna hope to get you guys a full draft video here. It's been very difficult actually to try and record a and play a Masters 25 draft. I've done probably like 12 drafts that ended in games at this point, which means I've been in way more queues than that. Um, but a lot of the times people don't show up for the games, the drafts drop, and even the games they show up for are just not worth putting up, even if the decks are super sweet. Anyway, going into this pack, we're taking a look at Path of Peace, a Swiftfoot Boots, and Counterspell. Counterspell being probably the most powerful card, but I'm going to take Path. Counterspell really only fits into one deck. I don't really like blue in this format. It's kind of a lock into playing blue-green, in my experience. There are way more white decks. Speaking of, we can take like Plaguewind here-ish. I mean, it's not great. It's just very slow. We could take Enthralling Victor or Hordeling Outburst. Both very good cards. Enthralling Victor is probably the best card from a power standpoint if we're willing to give up on the Path to Peace. Red-White does kind of want it too. So even though Hordeling Outburst might be better in Red-White by a slight margin, like there are some Red-White decks that really want Victor too. And we're not committed to anything quite yet. So we'll take Enthralling Victor. Alright. Going from a pack of like a billion red cards to a Rancor third pick. So, guess we're going there. So, don't hate it though. Love Rancor. Great card. And if we end up green-white, which our cards kind of lean towards, it's just insanely good. It's probably like the best card in that deck, so. Alright. So there's still Looter in this pack, and Looter is very good, but we're just going to take Knight of the Skyward Eye. Card is absolutely ridiculous. I love green-white. Hopefully I'll get to show you guys some of what green-white can do, especially since my draft guide kind of briefly touched on it, but didn't really go into just how good it can be. This pack, bit of a blank for everybody really, besides like the black-white decks. We could take Noble Templar or Woolly Lockston. Not a really big fan of either. Guess we'll take Templar. There's a chance we want to play 16 lands and Templar can help us feel better about our choice there. Pretty easy Timberpack Wolf. It's very early on in the draft, which is when you want to take them. And Timberpack Wolf is one of the best in terms of the cycles here, and just a good card in general. Loyal Sentry is a bit of a pain in the ass to play against. We're not really looking at a signal here, so at this point I'm going to take Assembly Worker. I mean, we're not passing anything, so taking Assembly Worker here indicates a flexibility in case we're being cut to potentially have an out without our draft being ruined. Hopefully that's not the case though. Retraction Helix and Ghost Ship are still in the pack, which is interesting, but I hate white-blue. Could still be green-blue in theory, but I really don't think so. But we're passing what, like a Stang, I guess? Stang's super expensive for the green-white decks. I'm not really a big fan. So I'm going to grab Retraction Helix. If all hell breaks loose, there's a chance we'll want to go there. Self-Assembler is a clear pick here. We're not going to miss a Lockston, and if we have to lean on Assembly Workers, we're going to want to pick them up. So hopefully we don't have to go there, but the packs aren't cutting well. If that is the case, that we don't have to go there. We have a red card. I guess we'll take Commando. I mean, we could also cultivate with Plaguewind here. And Baloth Null, potentially. Okay. I'm in. Self-Assembler number 2. Cultivating to Self-Assembler is interesting. Yeah, I guess we're going there. Not super happy about this, but I think we take Echoing Courage. Still want to be aggressive green-white, if at all possible. It's not looking particularly possible, but we're going to leave ourselves open to go back into it. I think I like Aberration more than I like Templar in our deck. Here it's very easy. Swords to Plowshares is insane. Just way too good to pass. I like Summoner's Pack, fair deal. Cultivate is a card I was actively looking for. Squadron Hawk I'd be cool with. But Swords is way too good, so... Ooh, interesting choice. We could take Luminarch Ascension, kind of shift into a more defensive deck. We take these 2-drops and kind of hold back with them. Assembly Worker strategies are definitely more defensive, and they kind of need some power, so we'll take Luminarch Ascension. We're not really passing any premium cards here for us, so I think it's a pretty clear pick. Here we could take Perilous Mirror, Invigorate, or like Loyal Sentry. Kind of like this Loyal Sentry plan. If we're going for a Luminarch Ascension kind of ramp strategy into Plague Wind and Baloth Null, Loyal Sentry seems like it could be a pretty decent part of that. Nyx Fleece Ram fits into that. Another self-assembler, but we did pick one up pretty late last time. I'm not really worried about 2-drops in this deck, though, and I am worried about how many self-assemblers we'll get. Also worried about picking up a Cultivate, but I'll let myself drive myself crazy a little bit over that, but not too much I can do about it. Just take a Noble Templar. I mean, not exciting, but nothing in that pack really was. Holy shit. Are we really taking Utopia Sprawl over second Rancor? I think we have to, right? God damn it. Double Rancor and green-white is just not open for us. The aggro deck is just being cut. We need to take Utopia Sprawl. We need to supplement our mana. Sucks though, you know? Arbor Elf or Timber Pack? Or do we just want Timber Pack? I think we want Arbor Elf. We're trying to cast Plague Wind here. We're trying to cast Self-Assemblers at a time where they can start pushing damage. So Arbor Elf I think is better than Wolf, even though it seems heinous to say. Now we'll take a Nyx Fleece Ram. Now I'll take Renewed Faith. It's a freaking weird deck. We really want to cultivate. Splashing a Plague Wind here is just... like, it's not bad, but really want some help to do so. We'll take a Wildheart Invoker. Ideally we're big mana here, and Ember Weaver has a place in this sort of deck, but I think we still want Invoker. Maybe we want Ember Weaver. Green-white it does have options, so we'll take. Did it give us Ember Weaver? I guess it did. Not too upset about that. I'm very surprised Invigorate wields. Very easy slam. Renewed Faith. Even though we're not aggressive, Invigorate is just ridiculously good. We'll take, I guess, Return Phalanx. Okay, not happy. Not super depressed either. Kind of going big mana green-white, which is, if you had to ask me, not my favorite. But being able to adapt to draft in this sort of situation is very important. Ideally don't want to play that. Here, we could take Knight. Knight is still insane, even in the slower decks. But I think we just want Fiend Hunter. We're a bit light on interaction. We have swords, we have Path of Peace, we have this Loyal Sentry, kind of. But we don't want to lose out to the crab decks, and Fiend Hunter is a big key to letting us play a longer game against some of those decks. Knight, I'd be very happy with too. I don't think we need pacifism now, especially given there's some really high priority cards for us in this pack. I don't think we're really bouncing anything, otherwise I'd slam this protector. Maybe we just want another self-assembler. Might wheel. Maybe we could get away with taking pacifism. Wheeling self-assembler, Arbor Elf, or protector. I think one of them will wheel. Yeah, I guess we'll take the removal. We'll take self-assembler here. It's good. I think we're going to get that other self-assembler on the wheel. And I'll get to show off how mediocre yet viable this strategy kind of is. 5 self-assembler.deck. Let's go. We have 3 in every starting hand. Oh. Ah, dang it. We can't splash this. I'd love to, but we can't. So, we'll take the Tusker, cycle out for a swamp. And it also can be cast fairly reasonably. Pretty good pickup at this point, honestly. Prefer it to Elfish Aberration if it comes to that. Yeah, we do have enough early game. I think this Rancor... I don't like cutting Rancor, but this does not feel like a Rancor deck. Yeah, we're just going to take another Arbor Elf. It's really what we want to be doing, is casting Arbor Elves. Let's take Ambassador. We'll take Survivalist. Definitely a better sideboard card. Might be better main deck card, but we'll see. We'll take an Ember Weaver in case we start fighting some flyers. We're definitely not playing 2. Loyal Sentry or Arbor Elf? Yeah, I would just take Arbor Elf. All we want to do is Arbor Elf turn 1. Now that we have enough ramp, I think we just take Baloth Null. Yeah, the mana base is the only awkward thing about this deck. I wish I could pick up a... got that assembler on the wheel. A Twisted Abomination, but I don't think I saw one at the point where I was actually considering this Black Splash. I was keeping an eye out for it, but we have this Tusker and Utopia Sprawl, so not horrible. We'll take Lull. We already have one or the other. I think I'd rather play Survivalist than Ember Weaver, and we'll cut that Lull wherever it is. 9. Do we want to play 2 Wolves or a Survivalist? I think we cut the Wolves. God, that hurts my soul. Echoing Courage doesn't feel great in our deck. Just don't need it. I think we can cut this Noble Templar. One more cut. Even though we're big mana deck, we have 3 Arbor Elves. We have Cyclers. Vessel of Nascency is a card I might actually play, considering our lack of fixing. Worried more about that. Okay. Now where do we make cuts? Could not play Nyx Fleece in the main deck. As much as I like it, it just isn't proactive and it might not be good enough. We can board it in against some of the more aggressive decks. But I think we have good early game already. We cut one more card and we'll be good to go. 3 Arbor Elves make this Utopia Sprawl over Rancor pick feel actually pretty decent. Let's do a creature count check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's I guess 3.5. 4.5, 5.5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, we have a good amount of creatures. We could cut a creature if we want to. So let's take a look. It's probably between Survivalist and Invigorate. Maybe we board in Invigorate. There are a lot of decks that don't care about combat tricks. We do have enough acceleration that we're getting our big guys out early. Okay, we're gonna take this 5 Self-Assembler, 3 Arbor Elf deck into some games here. See if we can get our Splash Plague Wind off. Think we want 2 or 3 swamps. I take 3 swamps, 9 forests. It's only 4 plains? No, that can't be right. Eight forests, 5 plains, 6 plains. This Fiend Hunter's awkward on our mana base. I play 2 swamps. Only 2 swamps for Plague Wind with Utopia Sprawl Vessel. Shall find them. I think we want 1 more swamp. And we cut up plains. Alright, be back for some games.